Okay, so you both played pickup hockey.
A bunch.
What
A bunch.
What is the worst type of pickup hockey player that you've played with?
Peter.
Or I guess that
I'm
you
going.
haven't
I'm
played
going second. I got a lot of opinions on this.
gosh.
with. Oh no.
When was the last time you played?
2012, 10 years ago maybe.
Wow.
11, 13 maybe.
Got to get
14,
back on the ice,
somewhere in
dude.
I already know. It's the easiest one.
Okay.
It's the guy who's got to go after everybody. The guy who never made it guy. Right? He's never made it. He never made it. He didn't play past 10th grade, but now he's pretty good, right? So now he wants to, where'd you play? Yeah, I played a solid. Oh, right. Like that guy. And now he's got it out for you the entire night. I'm like, I didn't come here to have you out for me the entire night.
I've never played with anybody like that.
Oh God, I can still see the guy.
I've never played
I
with
can
anybody
still
like
see
that.
him. I can still see him. It was that when I said I played for Southwest and he was like a Roosevelt guy. It was the Stanley Cup. Tonight's the Stanley Cup for this guy because he's playing against a guy who went to Southwest.
I think my least favorite type of player to play with, and there's one specific player I'm thinking of who I skate with regularly, and he's a nice enough guy, but he's the coach.
He's directing traffic out
He
there?
likes to say stuff like "gap up." he likes to say things like, "Go at him, take him. I got it. Let's rotate.
Oh, rotate.
Let's rotate. Shut up."
This is one other one, and this builds on what you're saying. Weak side.
Yes.
I'm like,
yes.
I'm sorry, but I'm not
Third guy high. Shut your mouth.
the weak side guy. Like
Stop it.
that's better than the Stanley Cup guy. Weak side guy, like, dude, I'm not sitting here trying to figure out where the strong. That means I got to figure out where the strong side is.
Look,
To know where the weak side is. I'm not playing chess. I'm just out here for a skate. Okay.
It's 10:30 on a Sunday night.
Yes.
I did not show up for Herbrooks Hockey School.
Yeah.
I got $13. You got $13. We're gonna skate for an hour 15.
You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. Cause it get cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Cold like Minnesota. Need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat.
I would also add that I am the worst type of pickup hockey player
Why is that?
because I try way too hard
On
defense.
Not a fan.
On defense.
What's wrong with
If-
that? I don't remember.
See,
that.
this is how I rationalize it. I'm usually on the losing side at our pickup games.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for the goalie who's just getting peppered all evening. So I'll do stuff like if you're cherry picking, I'll hang back at the red line with you. Because
feel
I
bad
don't-
for the scoreboard. That's why I go back.
Oh, we don't update the scoreboard.
No, but everyone's keeping track of the score.
Well, kind of.
Come on.
I'm also
you know the score.
I'm also the guy where if we're getting killed, we'll score a goal, and I'm like, 8-6 dark, 8-6 dark, 8-6 dark.
and that gets them going, doesn't it?
I love talking trash.
No, I don't like to lose, and I'm not a trier. But like, if it's, I know it's close. See the pickup we play. I always just play to 5, right?
Oh no,
and start over.
We just
And then if it's 5-0, okay, Gretzky, you go over on the whites and just even it out as the hour goes by.
the guy who owns the ice, he's owned it for
And he
30
wins
some
every
years.
game?
No.
Oh, really?
No, it's worse than that. And he's a lovely human being, and he'll never hear this. But he doesn't shuffle the teams.
He always keeps
So
the same?
on Sunday night,
Yeah.
Steve O'Hearn, who coaches the White Bear Lake Pee Wee AA's and who played at Northland, he was on the same team as the other best guy who skates with us regularly. And on my team, we had 3 kids, God bless them, who'd never played before.
Yeah. It's
So
not
we
fun.
just got pumped for
See, that's not
75
fun.
minutes.
That's not fun.
It's kind of fun for me.
I think I might come out.
Go for it. We got a mix
I'm
of
coming
kids.
out.
You remember
I got equipment. How much equipment do you wear?
elbow
That's
pads,
another-
shin pads,
Okay.
sometimes skates, sometimes boots,
Like I got it all. I got all that.
gloves,
I got it all.
stick,
Got it all.
helmet,
Bad stick, but I'll upgrade.
light jersey, dark jersey.
I don't have either, but I think I could probably find one in this room. That'd be kind of badass if I showed up with a white Bear jersey on.
I've thought about swiping.
right?
from this room and
Just
taking
show
it
up
to
with my
hockey.
Alexandria jersey. That'd be pretty cool.
No, that satin white bear jersey is
it's
calling
pretty
to
cool.
me.
It is pretty
Calling to
cool.
me.
I would wear the black white bear with the white. But that's probably one of my favorites on here.
You'd be a popular guy because people would ask about it.
It's
Be
cool.
a popular
It's
guy.
cool. I like being popular.
And then we all go our separate ways. Like there's no hanging out in the
No
locker
beers?
room or in the parking lot.
Wow, that's
Some-
disappointing.
Sometimes I bring a few frosty Gatorades for the fellas because I play with 4 or 5 of my closest friends.
I kind of like a beer in the locker room. It tastes good. It's kind of like a beer after golf. It's like it tastes good.
The one game I played up in Moorhead, that's the only time we've ever had beer at the locker room.
Really?
I was popping frosty Busch Lights with Josh Arnold.
That'd be fun. I think I might do it. Mark me down.
You should
I'm coming
skate.
this
You should
year.
skate in Moorhead.
Sunday night at 10:30.
You should skate for Tobalt Seed
Yikes!
in Moorhead.
Yikes!
10 o'clock on Sundays, 9:45 on Wednesdays.
No. Wow. Maybe not.
Okay, Grandpa.
Geritol. Okay. Welcome to 10 Minutes with Tony Scott. I'm Tony Scott.
Nice.
I have Peter Rodney with me, Kayla here, prompting us with great questions and probably giving us a hard time at some point during the show. This is the Blue Ox preview. We can't start a Blue Ox without talking about Patrick Schoonover, who passed away now 9 years ago. November 14th was the date of his death, and he also scored a goal on that day. And it was a day that I will never forget as long as I live. He went down on the ice and never got back up, and the tournament was canceled within an hour. Sad day, and we always make sure we recognize Patrick on day one of the Blue Ox every year. For someone who wasn't there, Peter, what do you think of all that? How do we handle it? Is it right to continue memorializing him each year? Should we?
Well, I think it's
You know?
absolutely right to continue memorializing him each year, and I can't say enough about what Play for Patrick has done
Yeah,
for the
it's been great.
state with the tournament that they run and the sudden cardiac arrest awareness that they've brought to the game. I'm pretty. What are those machines?
They're just testing machines. I don't know what they are.
Okay,
The AEDs, you mean?
AEDs.
No, those have always been in the rink. I
don't
know
think
that.
they've always been in the ring.
I know that for a fact because the AED wouldn't have saved him. When he hit the ice, he passed away.
Well, in any
he
case,
he died before he hit the ground. I mean, that's before he hit the ice.
oh, then I was wrong.
So a friend of mine, Phil Bontius, former Minnetonka player, he died, and an AED saved him on the ice. So yes, they are very needed, and you should always know where they are when you're playing hockey, especially the old guys, right?
Yes.
That's the way to bring it full circle. So yeah, we'll be honoring each first game of the tournament. We'll be honoring Mr. Schoonover.
Yeah, this is also a good time to plug Play for Patrick. Visit givemn.org to get started. Give to the Max November 16th.
Yep.
And give to the Patrick Schoonover Heart Foundation.
It's a great cause. Yeah, it's crazy. Just in the last 7 days, Play for Patrick stuff has come to my forefront. A good friend of mine's son, who plays Division I hockey, was diagnosed. And if it weren't for the medical staff at the school that he plays for, who knows what would happen to that young man. So everything has been taken care of. He's had a surgery. He's everything taken care of. He actually scored a goal last weekend.
All right.
I don't know. I have full permission from the mom for me to say anything yet, but I will bring it up once she kind of gives me a little bit of a green light on it.
Gotcha.
And she was asking all about Patrick. That's how I recalled a lot of it. So this is all in the last 10 days. This has all gone down. So kind of cool. So
It's a big 10 days.
yeah. So you want to talk format for this one?
Let's talk a little
You
format.
you have the agenda today. I'm just following along and gonna do some sponsor
It's
reads
funny
as
that
we go.
you skipped item number 2 on our list, though.
What was that?
Favorite Ox memory.
Is that next
Your
on the
memory
list?
seems to be failing you.
No, I don't have that in front of me. I have all my answers written in front of me.
What was the Civil War like?
Let's see, 106 years after I was born. 106 years after the Civil War.
You're 106 years old.
Older than the Civil War ending. So I didn't make it to the Civil War. I was
You
off
didn't?
by 106 years. But my favorite memory of the Blue Ox was in Maple Grove, and it just jumped out of me. Sometimes you got a player or two or three that jump out, and then there's one where it's like, this guy was so good, and he was a first-year Bantam. Just think about that. He was a first-year Bantam.
Jackson Ernst.
You got the first name right. He's not the last name. He's from Grand Forks. Jackson Kuntz was coming out of Pee-wees in his first year, and he absolutely exploded onto the scene. Made some great goals, scored some great goals, had some great plays, led his team to the finals, and we gave him the MVP of the tournament despite Grand Forks losing in the finals. That's how special he was that day. And I just remember what he did that weekend. It was like, wow, it just keeps happening. Quarterfinals, semifinals, even in the finals, he was making things happen. So there's my memory of my Blue Ox memory this year.
It certainly helped that he was a grown man at 14. He's on the North Dakota roster. He's listed as 6'3", 224. I'm pretty sure he was 6'3", 223 when he was 14 years old.
He was a big boy. He's a big boy.
Also a fourth-round draft pick of the Vancouver Canucks.
Good work there. Good work.
Oh, yeah. I Googled Jackson Kuntz hockey. And
what was your memory?
Last year's St. Michael Albertville Rogers opening round game. You want to talk about fireworks?
Why does St. Michael Albertville come up on every one of our shows?
Because they're so volatile.
Why?
They're volatile.
Why?
They're volatile.
I mean, every time we talk about the Pumpkin, we got to talk about the St. Michael game against Edina. Now it's the St. Michael game against Rogers.
What's St. Michael game against Edina?
We stop fanboying STMA at this point, don't we?
What STMA game in Edina for Pumpkin?
No, a couple years ago, Pumpkin,
Don't
rank
remember.
1. Oh, you don't? Oh, you were not in there.
I don't remember.
Bodie McConnell had like 3. There was the game where Beckett.
I live in the now.
What's his name? Beckett Wankus had that slap shot. Beckett.
Oh,
Becker.
where he just teed it up and scored on a slapper.
And he came and
now
skated right at you. Remember that game?
Now I
It was a
remember.
great game.
Anywho, 5-4 shootout win for Rogers over STMA. That was a crazy game. STMA tied the game with 37 seconds left after Brock Cheslock gave Rogers a 4-3 lead with 2:25 left in the third period.
He's acting like he's committing this to memory. He's like looking at the score sheet.
I'm looking right at the box score right now.
Interesting note about. I'm glad we're talking a little more.
It also wasn't a shootout. Avenir Ballou scored in overtime. Why is this score sheet? Whatever.
I don't know. Interesting note here on that game, and now my new favorite rink, which is the Shields rink, which used to be the North rink before they added the Sanford rink, is now that we brought the music into that place, put Robin Cook in there.
Why are you reminding me?
And then the fans outside the glass that are in the lobby, it's kind of a little bit of a fishbowl effect. The fans that are in the building. That rink has turned into one of the best barns to watch a youth hockey game, the Shields rink, where Bushy's almost a little too big sometimes.
Depending on the game, Bushy can be too big.
If Moorhead's in it, then it's fine.
We've both seen Bushy packed to the gills.
For a Moorhead game. Yeah, no doubt about it.
It wasn't a Moorhead game that I was.
Which one were you
thinking?
It was
2018 Bantam AA state tournament.
That's state. Yeah, that's
I think
state.
Chaska Chan or something.
Well, yeah, there was Par Lake, Edina, Chaskachan, OMG. That was a good state tournament.
No, I get what you're saying about that North rink. That's where my sisters would go figure skating.
Really?
Yeah, I learned to skate at the Moorhead
North
Sports Center.
The reason I say maybe because I just remember what it used to be before the remodel. It was kind of a dumpy rink. It wasn't great. Now it's like there's fans everywhere. We bring in the speakers because the speaker system in that rink isn't good. So we haul the speakers up from the Twin Cities, and the place is like a rock show in there. And it's just a fun atmosphere playing.
Super loud in there.
It is very loud. It's very fun. The kids don't complain. The coaches love playing in there. The ice is fantastic.
The coaches may motion
too
to
loud?
the person in the penalty box during a timeout. Like
too loud.
Turn it down just
too
a little
loud.
bit.
Too loud.
It's funny. I was talking to my mom a couple of days ago. And I told her I was going up to Moorhead for the Blue Ox, and she loves telling me about how my sisters would be figure skating on that rink. And as a little 2-year-old in my snowsuit, I would grab my mom's hand and drag her over to watch the Moorhead boys
practice or
over
play
on the Bushy rink.
The Bushy rink, yeah, fantastic. All right, good mems. So are we ready to talk a little bit about the hat you're wearing today?
I think we're ready to talk about the hat I'm wearing today. I got a compliment on this hat yesterday. I ran into somebody. Actually, I didn't run into him. I asked him to come to my house and build something for me. And
did he actually show up now?
It wasn't the infamous Casey Weimer.
Okay.
It was somebody else who lives in West St. Paul and who also does contracting work.
Nice.
And he looked at my hat and he said, "Hey, I know how much the houses next to that rink are going for." And I was like, "Yeah, I bet you do. Don't tell me. I don't want to be depressed."
Right. Okay. So you, under contract, I was only required to wear my West St. Paul hat once. So
I would pay to see that contract.
I have, under my contract, I have fulfilled my contract, even though I love West St. Paul. There's a lot of cool things about West St. Paul that I could go on and on about, but this show is about Map South.
Yes, it is.
And not West St. Paul. Let's chat a little Map South. I love being over there in the summer because you can kind of see it all unfold, right? You can see the kids shooting pucks. You can see them training.
You can watch
see them
the
lifting
sport
weights.
court melting.
You could see them shooting. And then what I like most is how they put together their practices. Their practice, they have a lot of coaches on the ice, which is great, but the skills, the drills, they're very engaged. The coaches are engaged. The kids are engaged. Everyone's kind of getting their money's worth when they're over there training for as many hours as they want to be there in a day. If you want to get better, go to Map South because they will definitely make you a better player. If you don't want to get better, don't sign up for Map South and squeeze your parents out of a bunch of money because it costs money to go there, right?
Ice costs money.
Ice costs money. It all costs money, but don't. If you're really committed, that's a great place to go. They're going to make you a better hockey player and a lot of other things as well.
You mentioned 2/3 of what I would call the holy trinity of Map South. You mentioned the skills and the drills. You want to know what the third one? The thrills.
What are the thrills?
Skills, drills, and thrills.
What are the thrills? You should be writing copy for ads.
The thrill, it's in my blood. It's what everybody in my family's done. The thrill of becoming a better player.
Yeah.
Through arduous, hard
work.
Incremental work.
No doubt about it. All right. Well, thank you, Map South Hockey. Check out Map South Hockey. If you have a son or daughter who wants to get better, and who wants to get better, key operative there, not you wanting him or her to get better. If the kid wants to get better, it's a great place to look.
I wonder if they'd take my dog.
Doesn't.
I could put my dog on skates.
All right, let's talk format. You want to talk double A or A formats?
We're going to go double A to A.
All
double A, it's essentially the pumpkin times.
A 24 teamer.
Yep, 24 team. Bracket play, all bracket play, you're always playing for something. I heard multiple people down at the Pumpkin appreciate that fact because you lose your first game sometimes in a tournament, you tend to check out, right?
Right.
O2 barbecue is a saying for a reason. Even if you lose 2 games in all bracket play, you are still playing for something. You can still win something.
And my theory on this format that we invented 2013.
You invented bracket play?
Well, no, this 24-teamer. I've never seen this 24-teamer used anywhere else. You did it for the Founders Cup up in Hibbing, Virginia. And what I like about it is the longer the weekend goes, the better the games become because you're all playing at the exact same level.
Yep.
You know, we're 1-2. Oh, we're playing you guys. We're 0-3. We're playing you guys. We're 1-1. We're 2-1. They all have pretty much have the exact same record every time you're playing somebody. So the level of competition gets better and better and even more even as the weekend goes.
Yeah, no tiebreakers either. So this is win and
move.
Yeah. Win and move. Let's run down the top 8 seeds one more time for those of you who did not listen to the Big Pumpkin recap where we previewed these top 8 seeds.
Are you going to read them in order?
If you didn't listen
see if you can read them in order.
Shame on you. Of course I can read them in order. They're written right in front of me.
Okay, let's see if you got them right.
Moorhead is the top overall seed.
Yep.
Stillwater,
There you
number
go.
2. Wayzata, number 3.
Yep.
White Bear Lake, number 4. Minnetonka, number 5. The Grand Forks Aviators, number 6. Centennial, number 7. And Matamidi, number 8.
8, yeah.
It's weird. It's almost like I wrote them down last week, too.
Okay. I think it's a good bracket. I think
it is, too.
I think there's some teams in that left bracket that are going to upset some teams over on the right. There's some good teams, 9 through 15 or 16, and 17 through 24. I have no idea how good they are. There could be some really loopy upsets over there too.
I'm going to be totally honest with you. The left side of this bracket, the play-in games, 7:30. I haven't looked at the schedule yet. Apparently, we're playing at 7:30.
7 a.m. 7 a.m.
There's a 7 a.m.
7 a.m.
No, 7:30.
Okay. Wow.
7:30. Thank goodness. This is probably the strongest play-in bracket
We've ever
that
seen.
I've ever seen at the Blue Ox.
It's
I mean,
fantastic.
East Grand Forks, Hibbing, Hermantown could surprise some people.
Warroad.
Warroad, Blaine, Lakeville North has got a nice
Lakeville
team.
North's
We were just
very
looking at that
good.
roster.
Very good.
The white bracket championship is going to be on par with the blue bracket championship and
Which is the middle.
the black bracket semifinals.
Yep. Yeah, it's going to be good hockey.
It is. It's going to be great hockey.
And that place, I'm not there very often on Friday. So you're in the crock pot, we'll call it, the 3-rinker. I'm over in the Moorhead Sports Center dealing with the Bantam A side of things on Friday, the headshots, all that stuff that's going over there. It's an absolute pressure cooker in that building.
Yep.
From 7 a.m. until 9 or 10 p.m. We kick off a lot of games on that Friday. Some of the teams that lose, we have it set up now where some of the teams that lose on Friday morning actually play Friday afternoon now. They don't have to wait all day for their second game. I really like how we fit that in that way. So if teams kind of stinks, you drive all the way up there on Thursday and then you get up for 7 a.m. and then you're done for the entire day. But we've got those games. A few of those teams on the left and the white side of the bracket going to get some more games on Friday as well. So I like how that works.
Have you ever seen a pride of lions destroy a gazelle?
Yes.
You've seen that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's what it's like at the Ox after games at the bracket. The paper bracket that gets updated. It is a pride of parents.
It is.
A stampede to that paper bracket.
Find out what's going on next.
Yeah, so don't go to, if you want to go on a safari, don't go to Africa. Just go to Moorhead,
Just go to
Minnesota, and watch parents attack a paper
Every
bracket.
15 minutes, they attack the paper. They definitely do. They definitely. So we have the 24 teamer there. Are we going to go to A, or are we going to go through all of our stuff on the double A first?
Bantam A's, we got 12 teams. It's going to be pool play to bracket play. We've got 3 pools, A, B, and C, obviously.
Yep.
We're going to have 3 pool winners and then 1 wild card, which will be the overall number 4, correct?
Yep. The team with the most points for. Let me go through that really quick, how we set this tournament up. It is single A teams who have a double A team in front of them, except we made one exception this year.
Okay.
Detroit Lakes was looking for games, looking for a tournament to play in, and it didn't work out for them to come to the Lumberjack Cup Bantam A. So I kind of had that in the back of my head, and we were kind of stuck at 10 teams, and we got an 11th team. I can't remember who it was off the top of my head. We did get an 11th Bantam A team with a double A in front of them. I'm like, all right, we got 11. Called up Rob Grammer and said, hey, our policy is double A with an A in front of them. Let's get Detroit Lakes in here because I think they would be a good fit. They're not. I don't think they're going to dominate this like a Warroad or an East Grand.
I don't think they will either.
I don't think they'll dominate, but they'll be good. They'll be competitive. They'll come up with good games. And I don't think the other 11 teams will object to DL being in the game. And they're close, 45 minutes away. Called up Ben Noah, the head coach at DL, who is kind of advocating for them to be in one of our tournaments because he wanted them to get some of the love,
Primo competition,
and good competition, and a little bit of appreciation from YHH. Called them up within 15 minutes. We had DL in, and we have a 12-teamer versus a 10-teamer in like 2 phone calls. So it's pretty exciting. So I'm excited to see DL.
I also don't think that DL would cancel the day that they were supposed to show up.
Add that to the memories. Wow, was it Williston?
It was
I don't
Williston.
care. I will out Williston all day long. There was a little bit of snow on the horizon, and guess what? All of us had the same snowstorm as the Williston folks, and they backed out. They knew when the tournament was. They backed out the day before the tournament.
That was a rough situation.
And I don't like to say this stuff, kind of financial stuff on the air. Needless to say, they were not refunded their money.
Well,
they were not refunded.
Everybody else managed to get there.
Everyone else made it except
Everybody else
Williston.
made it.
And who else made it? What was the team from? What was the name of that team?
Mayport.
The Dogs. Something Dogs.
Mayport.
Say where was
Yeah, it's
something like
Mayville,
this.
Portland.
Mayville, Portland. Something Dogs. Ice Dogs.
Ice Dogs.
Ice Dogs. And you know what? For every sad story, there's always a happy ending. those people were the most thankful people in the whole state of North Dakota that day.
Yeah.
And Minnesota. They were like, this is awesome. Thanks. We're great. I don't think they won a game, but they sure had a great time.
Either.
They had a great time, and they were great sports, and it was fun to have them.
It was.
Mayport, you're welcome anytime. Anytime. Williston, lifetime ban.
Mayville State.
Lifetime ban is in place.
Mayville State, you're not allowed within 100 yards of the arena, but Mayville, the town, sure.
Oh, boy. It sounds like a rival. Is that a rival of Jamestown? Yeah,
it is. Except we just left them in the dust. What's up, NCAA Division II?
Okay.
Comments on all top 8 seeds is what I have scratched out in my legal pad. So if you've got thoughts on all 8 teams and a player to watch, I'd love to hear them.
To watch?
Of course, we went over this.
Gosh.
We went over this.
Okay.
Kayla, chime in here. Did we not go over this?
All right.
Why are you shrugging? You're just afraid.
You're
afraid to say that we didn't. That's fine. I'll start and I'll go slow.
Okay.
Tony actually pays me to agree with him.
I pay you in compliments.
I like that. That's a really good thought there.
Kayla, great work today.
All right.
Who's
the first
Moorhead.
seed?
Moorhead,
Oh,
number 1
gosh.
overall seed. Moorhead, back-to-back champs.
I'm
If
going goalies.
they go a three-peat, I don't. What do we rename the tournament?
No.
The Spud.
Spud?
The Spud.
No.
Battle for the Big Spud. Loaded lineup, top to bottom. Interesting note about Moorhead, though. They have this really eclectic mix of 08s, 09s, and then a
10s.
few of those really talented 10s. I'll be curious to see what happens with those 10s.
3, 4, 5. 5 10s.
Yep, let me finish my thought. So those 10s have always been near the top of the lineup at their respective age groups, right? There are some really good players who were on that Bantam AA team last year. Pavel Goryachev comes to mind.
Yeah.
How are those 10s going to fit in on those roles? Are they going to be cool, maybe playing on that third line?
Yeah, well, that's not our job.
It's not our job, thank God.
3-time Stanley Cup champion Matt Cullen's job.
Yeah, good luck, Matt. My player to watch is Pavel Goryachev.
I love that kid. He's good.
Super, super skilled.
I'm going to go with the goaltenders. Hudson Ferry, as of right now, is the best Bantam goalie in the state. And Will Arnold is not far behind. So not only are they really good, if they had an orange cone, they'd still be really good. But now they have 2 awesome goaltenders. So I'm going with the goaltenders.
Are you trying to call Hudson Ferry and Will Arnold orange cone?
No, I'm not. I think they're really good.
You're sure?
I think they're really good.
All right.
Who's my next team?
Stillwater.
You get to go first.
Stillwater is
the
number
so
2 seed. It's a microcosm of the PWAA team they brought to the Pumpkin. There is virtually zero fall off from the top of the lineup to the bottom of the lineup. There's zero fall off here. And you also get Luka Jarvis as a second-year Bantam. So congrats, Stillwater. Kieran Jones, Jonah Johnson, Vaughn Fothery, Mikey Beldy. The names go on and on and on.
Such a good team.
2 players that I want to point out, though. Matthew Fox and Leighton Reinhardt are going to be the goaltending duo.
Oh, you're stealing my thunder.
I'm stealing your thunder.
I might just go goalies everywhere.
I got another player for you if you want another player. Matthew Fox and Leighton
here.
Reinhardt had 2 exceptional Bantam Elite League seasons this year.
They did.
And now they get to rotate for Stillwater.
Yeah. Oof. God, there's so many choices here. There's Liam McGlynn. There's Lane Powers, Bloomington's finest. I'm going to go... Luka Jarvis.
I would have gone Powers.
I'm going to go Luka Jarvis. Lane Powers is very good. Very good
He's
player.
back from a year playing with the Sioux Falls Power, and he has officially joined the Pony lineup.
Yep. I think this is a really good team. Didn't these guys win they lost in the finals of the Big Pumpkin, and then they win? I think they won. Yeah. They won the Lumberjack Cup. They've won that Lumberjack Cup a lot.
It's weird.
Think about that.
It's almost like it was a Stillwater tournament
I know.
to begin with.
It was, but not anymore. But we still play the finals there.
All right, Wayzata, the number 3 seed. And Wayzata...
So many good players on this team.
The high school team looks as strong as it's ever been, for my money. And then you start looking at their banners: McCoy, Kurtz, Jackson, Hendricks, Cooper, Avalar, and then they add Charlie Awesome.
From Edina.
Edina's
finest.
He played really well in the Bantam Elite League. Wayzata's got every piece. They have every piece that you could possibly want.
Okay, so my guy, you first name that spit out of you, so I think it was a Freudian slip, but McCoy Kurtz is the guy you're going to want to watch play. I thought he was
Is
great.
that what Freudian slip?
Like you just didn't. You knew he was the best player. You subconsciously.
Well, he was just
it
a few
slipped
players
out.
that I jotted down.
I know, but I think
mean,
that's the guy you're going to really want to keep an eye on this weekend.
Really nice Bantam Elite League season.
Great
for McCoy
player.
Kurtz.
Great player.
White Bear Lake, the number 4 seed, experienced coaching and an
Got some
interesting
names.
mix of young and old players here. A good PWAA team last year. You're going to find some names: Veneruzo and Rode. Those names are all over White Bear Lake rosters
It's
at
a really
virtually
good team.
every age group.
This is a really good team.
The one player I want to keep an eye on is Marcus Matthias. 20 goals.
That's one right there.
20 goals, 32 points for the Loons during the Minnesota Hockey HP season.
This is
Yeah, I didn't have a way to end that thought, so I
this
just
is a
offered
really
a
good team.
awkward
This team could win it. This team could win
See,
it.
that's what I thought last year, and it didn't work out for me.
I think this team could win it.
I think I picked White Bear to win the whole dang thing last year.
I mean, that's a really good team. So you got, you got Nash Road as a first year, but he'll be playing like a second year, right?
Yes.
You got Mateus, you talked about. You got the sneaky Chase Mathewitz, who's very good. He does not play like, he won't be playing like a 2010 out there. He's a bigger kid who can really motor. They got a good blue line, good goaltending. They got, remember now, 2 years ago, these guys had an upstart run into the state tournament as Pee-wees. And I think this is a better team than they had 2 years ago. This team will go back to state. They were in state last year as Bantams. They'll be back in state this year. I'm calling it right now. This is a really good team.
Like Texas and Notre Dame football, Minnesota hockey is better when White Bear Lake is good. Minnetonka, what a young team.
That's our next,
We're basically looking at their PWAA roster,
which was
from
an
last
awesome
year.
team, by the way.
It was, but Bantam hockey is a whole new. It's a whole new ball game. Thankfully for Minnetonka, they're physically mature. Cash Hardy and Colton Kruk are both about 6'5".
Yep.
But the player that I would keep an eye on is Connor Tafe. He had an excellent summer skating for
Yeah, he
SDP
did.
during the United States Elite League. He plays hard on the penalty kill, the power play, 5-on-5. He can play in all situations. He could probably play forward and D. Maybe even a little goalie if they let him.
All right. Since I don't have the roster in front of me and you looked it up, can you cheat me one? Can you give me a kid?
I can cheat you
and
so
I'll
many.
talk about it. You give me
You
a
have
kid and I'll
no
talk about him.
idea.
And it can't be Hard or it can't be Hardy or
Can't be Kruk or Hardy.
You already dropped those names. Give me a new name.
Oh man.
Come on. Give
Oh
me
my
one.
gosh, my fiance just met Greg Joseph.
Oh my Lord.
That's so cool.
What does that have to do with the show?
It's got everything to do with anything.
All right.
I could give you so many names. You got both Schultzes on here. You also have
Stop right there. Liam Schultz.
you don't want to go with the offspring of Dave Spiar?
There's a Spihars on here too?
Finn
Finner's on that
Spiar
team?
is on the
Ooh,
Minnetonka
wow.
Bantam AA roster.
Ooh, I like that kid. He's extremely talented. Great hands, great speed, but I'm going to go with Liam Schultz on this one. That he will, if they make it to the finals, Final Four, Liam Schultz will be the reason.
I like how you just ignore Gabe Lindholm.
He's good too.
I like how you just ignore Max Aronson.
I don't have it in front of me.
I like how you
Everyone
just-
knows
you
I'm
just-
a big Max Aronson
You just
fan.
ignore
I've
Bergen
gushed on him
Kapishki.
too much.
You just
I've gushed
ignore
on Max Aronson too much in this programming. Everyone knows I love that kid. That's a good team.
You're blushing.
That's a good
my
team.
goal is to make you look like you're.
That's a good team.
Like
Well, I
your
don't have it in
quarters
front of me. I
over
don't have
here.
the roster. I'm sorry.
You should-
Their
you should
roster
pull
was
up
not
this roster.
turned in on the roster I was pulling from. So hopefully it'll
Right.
be in time by the time we print this and go to Moorhead.
Grand Forks Aviators.
Oh,
Grand Forks Aviators.
This is a squad right here. There might be some bias. I may have actual bias here on this team because I love so many of these kids. It's a great team.
A lot of familiar names.
Yes.
From Bantam Elite and from last year's
Our camp last
Blue
summer
Ox.
and our camp last summer. A lot of these kids were here.
Could go in a lot of different directions with this team, but I'm going to use Cam Irian.
I knew you were going to pick him.
I'm going to go Cam Irian, one of a handful of 08s on this roster. He plays defense. I think I've seen him play forward as well. Fleet of foot, skill for days. Cam Irian is a player you should watch, number 16.
The one guy who will, again, if these guys make it deep, the one name you'll hear a lot is Oliver Bryan, the goaltender. 2 years ago in the Bantam Elite League, he had some spectacular efforts throughout the entire time. That's where I kind of got to know who the kid was. He was good again in the majors this year.
Yep.
I think that this is the team that if that breaks through. A North Dakota team wins this tournament, it's going to be this team. There's just too deep of a team, too many good players, too many names on here that we've known forever. You know, you go through their first years that played on that championship North Dakota team, like Spicer and Mardo and Bina and all those guys, and then you get the second years like Ryder Rivard and those guys that have been Caden Ulmer, those guys. This is going to be a really nice team. I think they'll do well.
Yeah, Nolan Beadall coming off stud performance in the Bantam Elite League.
Yep.
All right, Centennial.
Yeah.
I don't know how to answer this one.
Why?
Centennial.
It's a good team. It's
because
close by Jesse Ramirez. They got to be good.
Jesse Ramirez, one of the coolest guys in Minnesota. Looking at their roster, there's so many names that jump out.
I already got mine.
They got
his name
one
spelled
too.
wrong in here too.
Do they really?
It says Edwin Drops.
They forgot the fourth.
It's Eddie.
They forgot the
third.
fourth.
Is it the fourth or the
He's
third?
the fourth. Eddie Drops the fourth.
Oh, he's
the kid.
so good. This kid is really good. I'm telling you. Fleet of foot defenseman. Not afraid to bring it up. If you're playing against Centennial, just circle number 11 and puck rushes. It's just going to happen.
I'm going to go with the youngest player on the roster. Well, second, tied with Logan Orlett for the only other 2010. Jacob Homike.
Good player.
4 goals last year in the Big Pumpkin as a PWA. He was built for Bantam hockey last year as a Pee-wee. He should fit in really nicely with 7 other forwards for Centennial who can really shoot the puck. Caden Jewett can shoot the puck.
Yeah.
Isaac Adams
There's
can shoot
another
the puck.
good player.
Nolan Border can shoot the puck. Caden Johnson, Ben Fedor. They can all shoot.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's a good team.
That's a heavy
That's a good team. I think that's a really good team, a hard team to beat.
All right, now we get to maybe the most entertaining team in the field. This is called track meet hockey. This is called the Matamidi Zephyrs.
All offense, all gas, no brakes.
All gas, no breaks. Not that they couldn't take a break if they wanted to because they got Brandon Wright playing goaltender. But Devin O'Donnell had an excellent fall HP season. The Sam Pears are both here. Obviously, you can't have a Matamidi team without having a Sam Pear.
Required.
And Reichard Dunbar, who last year I believe played Pee-wee AA. He played Pee-wees last year.
Yes, big kid.
Yep. He was big last year, still kind of raw. He's learning to use his body, and he can finally hit somebody. You always like it when the 6-foot, 180-pound kid can finally use their body in a physical game, and there he is.
I think this is a good team. I see another name on here, Brock Gutterman.
Yep.
Who had another great Bantam Elite season this past summer. So they got Zins, who played Bantam Elite 2 years in a row. This is a deep team. There's a reason they're a top 8 seed because you look at their performance so far this year. Look at the names on this roster. I could expect to see them making a deep run.
All right, let's take a moment before we get into our dark horse and our champs picks, which everybody's been waiting around for. Let's talk a little bit about Breakaway Academy. Tony, do you remember the 3 pillars of Breakaway Academy?
Got it, yes. Character, because I have a lot of that.
Mm-hmm.
Athletics, I don't have much of that. And academics, I do have a college degree or 2. So
You have 2 college degrees?
I do.
You have a master's?
Mm-hmm.
In what?
Business administration.
Wow. Okay.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
You didn't know I
I'm
could
sorry.
skate until like 3 weeks ago.
Sometimes what you
Oh,
say
you're refereeing?
goes-
Yeah,
it
I didn't know
goes
you can
in-
skate.
goes in one ear and out the other.
I know.
Our friends at Breakaway Academy, if you're looking for something a little bit different from the traditional academic route, I would try Breakaway Academy.
Could you, though? Could you?
Could
Could you have broken away from the Catholic parish to
No.
spur on?
No. But if I had, I might have scored more than 3 goals in my entire varsity career. I might have scored 4.
That's all you got?
It was 3.
Wow.
I scored once as a sophomore, didn't score at all as a junior, and then I scored twice as a senior.
Yeah, we were so our Southwest was just very lopsided. So we played in the city conference, so some of those games got a little lopsided.
Even in the
we'll say.
80s, they got lopsided.
No, they were bad. They were bad. There were some bad mismatches, let's put it that way. So scoring a lot of goals was not a huge task. But once we got into the Richfields, the Kennedys, the Jeffersons, the Minnetonka, Burnsville games, the goals weren't as plentiful. Let's put it that way.
All right, let's put it that way. Breakawayacademy.net. If you'd like to learn more about Breakaway Academy, that's breakawayacademy.net.
You and Kayla and myself, we're going to have a little field trip. Is that like usually the Breakaway kids go on field trips? The YHHers are taking a field trip there next Thursday. I'm excited to introduce you to everybody and show you around and have you learn a little bit more about it. We had our first Breakaway Student Athlete of the Week. Last week was Dean Stevens, and we'll be launching another one this week. I'm guessing on Thursday, Kayla. Is that when they come out?
Yes.
I'm excited to see who it is. I know there's 4 that we've already identified. I don't know which one gets rolled out this week, so even I will be surprised. I'm excited for our partnership with them. I'm excited for all the content that we're making with their brand on it. It's a great brand, and I'm excited to be with them.
That was nice. That was really nice. That was
Next.
great. I can see where that master's in business administration is coming in. All right, the moment that you've all been waiting for. And if you made it this far into the pod without taking a break or at least skipping to the end, congrats. We'll see you in Moorhead.
Can't wait.
Dark Horse, champion. Bantam pool winners, Bantam champion. Tony, Bantam Dark Horse pick. It's got to come from the play-in games.
Bantam, you're talking about Bantam AA.
That's what I said.
You said Bantam Dark Horse.
Bantam AA Dark Horse.
I have a lot of choices here. Like we talked earlier, I think the left side of the bracket, the 9 through 24s, is super deep. There's a lot of teams from Fargo, West Fargo to choose from, but I got to go with my boys, Warroad. They were a state finalist 2 years ago when these kids were peewees. No one has left this team. We have, I'm getting a note slid to me here. That's not a good sign. The Warroad team was a state finalist. They had a couple new kids on this team. I think this will be a team that will contend again on the Class A level. Peter slid a document over to me that says Homer.
Boo!
Thank you, Peter, for that.
You're welcome.
I'm not from Warroad, so I can't be a Homer. I don't live in Warroad, but I happen to know a lot of these kids. I've made a connection with them, and I think that they're going to go deep into this tournament. And I think part of the reason they're going to be here, is because of the connection I've made with Warroad. I'm excited to see my guys from Warroad.
Yeah, I hear that they're terrible golfers, though.
I don't know if they're terrible. There's one. Casey's a pretty good golfer. Casey Hendrickson.
Is it?
You know Casey Hendrickson's
I
the
do.
sibling.
The only reason I bring it up is because during Bantam Elite, while you were up there for the charity golf event, I ran into Avon Hontvet in the hallway, and the first thing he said to me was, "How's Tony doing at the golf tournament?" No hello, no nothing. He said, "How's Tony doing at the golf tournament?"
Yeah,
I can't tell you.
Good to hear from you, Tootsie. Good to hear from you.
All right, I'm going to go Blaine. Ironically, I think Blaine was my dark horse pick last year.
They won the white bracket, though.
And they did.
It was a good white bracket.
If you want to call me a hockey genius, I'm not going to stop.
And they got a really good goaltender.
They do. Anthony Pastadensic, I got used to calling his
You called that
name
game.
during that white bracket final. But it's not just Pasta. I'm just going to call him Pasta. Sam Burns is another nice player. Brody Lockman, Sam Pooter, Porter Bear had an excellent Bantam Elite League season. Wesley Anderley is another good goaltender. You recognize the name Grant Frischman. I want to say that is that Trevor's kid.
And he's the new coach.
Is he?
He's the new coach at the high school.
Okay, at the high school. I was going to say he's not on this Bantam coaching roster. But I like Blaine a lot. I think if they can stay within the confines of what they do best, which is defense and goaltending, I think they could surprise a lot of teams here.
I don't think it's even going to be a surprise. It was just hard to pick the top 8 versus the next 8 was
fine.
tricky.
Do you want to go way off the board?
No.
Are you sure?
No, we can if you'd like.
No, it's all right. I don't want to go through the wilderness with you today.
No. There's a couple kids, though, on this side of the bracket that I'd like to highlight. One of them is Devin Jacobs from Sartell. He's a hell of a player. He played on that North Bantam Elite League team a couple years ago that I remember seeing. He's the kid with the blue helmet. or white helmet, one of the two. He was really good. And I remember the people from northern Minnesota going, man, how did we get this kid? I'm like, just trying to even out the rosters, make sure the teams are fair. That's my job. And you get that St. Cloud area where they're kind of like, are they north or are they not? So we stuck him on the north team, and he was a big factor. I can't wait to see him play. Any other kids in that backside that you jump out at you besides the Blaine ones you already barked out?
I just barked out like seven of those
Blaine ones. Yeah. Anyone else from the
Blaine kids?
I got to just look at the backside of the roster really quick. I could probably find a name or two. Oh, here's a team that I kind of kicking myself after looking at it. This Lakeville North team. They get Patrick Bruins back.
David Isaacson, the
goaltender. Jax Taylor. Nash Payne is a really nice player. This is going to be a really good team. I wonder how far they can go. I think they can win their first round game, but after that, I'm not sure they can get too much deeper. They were in the Final Four as this group was Final Four as Squirtacular, and they were Final Four Big Pumpkin. So wouldn't be surprised if they make it all the way into the Final 8, Final Four this weekend.
Kyan Hendrickson.
Nice player.
Andover.
Yep.
He feels like he's been on that team
forever.
Pretty much forever. And if I had to pick one more player to keep an eye on from that
Friday first games,
the Friday first games, we got to think of a cool way to say
better
that.
way to say it. Friday first games.
You could take virtually anybody from East Grand Forks, but
yeah.
I would plug TJ Watiziak from Hermantown.
I love that kid.
That's a nice Hermantown team.
I know.
That's a nice Hermantown.
That's going to be a good team. That's going to be a really good team.
Can I change my pick?
No, you can't. You can't. We snubbed Hermantown, and when you snub Hermantown, it comes back to haunt you. So, what do we got?
Bantam A pool winners: Pool A, Pool B, Pool C. The wild card. Oh no, you got to give champ Bantam AA champ.
I'm going Moorhead. I'm going for the three-peat.
Wow,
that's easy.
I'm taking Stillwater.
That was easy.
I got the pony fever, baby.
Do you?
Yep.
Good. All right. I would not be surprised. Didn't we talk about that?
Pony fever.
When did we talk about? Is anyone?
I think it's been
repeated?
eradicated, kind of like yellow fever.
Did we talk about that? Oh, we talked about it in our recap last week. If you can, has a team ever won the pumpkin and association ever won a pumpkin and then won a ox? And it has never been done. We checked the trophies. It's never been done. So if
Stillwater manages to do that, how much fodder, how much chatter does that create about what they could do at the high school level?
It would create a lot of fodder in my fodder shooter, if that's a term.
Fodder shooter. Is that what you used during the Revolutionary War?
Yeah, right. It is.
Bantam A, Pool A. I got Blaine coming out of Pool A. I got Bengal fever too.
Over OMG, huh?
Yeah.
No, OMG is too strong.
Fine.
Too strong. That's a good team. They got kids from their PBAA team last year that are playing Bantam A. They're a well-coached team. I have them going all the way, so all the way to the finals.
Blaine's Bantam A team?
No, OMG.
Oh.
I have OMG out of Pool A.
All right.
What do you got in Pool B?
Moorhead.
I'm not going to disagree with you on that one at all.
That's a really good Bantam A team.
Yeah.
Pool C, I'm going to take Minnetonka.
Are we copying each other?
Pool C.
I'm going Minnetonka, too. I like that team. They got good goaltending with Hudson Tucker.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the only goaltender on that team.
He is. There's only one listed.
And I like a lot of these guys. This is going to be a good team. A lot of those
both
kids,
Skeltons on this team.
Both Skeltons. Think about that. Wow. Both Skeltons on the team. There's some good players on this team. Let me just kind of go through some of this list of names. Ben Sorensen was a kid who was on that PBAA team last year. This is a good team. I think that Minnetonka will, depending on who they get in the semifinals, will be a team that will definitely contend here. And they've always had a good Bantam single A team over the years.
If I had to pop out a couple of Blaine names, I'd go Logan Sallow. Will Sadler, goalie, is another nice goaltender. Yeah. And Logan Lunseth.
Yeah, good player.
And then from Moorhead, Connor Copeland, who I believe, was he the MVP of last year's?
I have no idea.
Bantam A Blue Ox. I know he was on the team. But
no,
Connor,
Bodie McConnell was.
Yeah,
Bodie McConnell won with Bantam A Blue Ox. and he was the MVP, and within 2 days was on the Bantam AA team.
Connor Copeland would be somebody to keep an eye on from that Moorhead team.
All right, cool.
All right, wild card.
Who's going to take the wild card?
Wild card.
That's kind of hard to predict based on like pool play, stuff like that. But it would be hard not to take. Wait, where did they go here? I think I got a double roster here.
Okay. Well, while you're looking at it, I'm going to go with Stillwater as my Bantam A wild card.
I got a bad roster here.
Got a bad roster? Call Darren.
I don't know if I like that at all. I'm going to go for Bantam A. I'm going to find a Grand Forks team that'll be really good.
Blue or red?
I'm going to go blue. I'm going Grand Forks Blue is going to take the wild card.
Alrighty, champ.
I'm going...
I have it written down what you said earlier.
Twice baked potato.
Yep.
I'm going Moorhead's going to win both. They're just way too deep right now. Way too deep. Way too many good players in the Moorhead system for them not to have the double championship back-to-back.
I'm going to take Minnetonka.
Do I have any orange? I don't have any orange.
Orange what?
Shirts. I need to get an orange shirt.
Why do you need an orange shirt?
Because they're going to be wearing orange, and I'm going to be in the winner circle. I'm going to look like I predicted it, so I'm going to wear orange.
Give me that Homer note back. I'm going to give it back to you.
Here you go.
Here you go.
Homer. There you go. Thank you.
All right. If you made it this far, congratulations. Prepare for many more terrible potato jokes.
I'm not going to jinx it, but I'm going to anyway.
Okay.
I've been checking the weather. Could this be the first time?
Shut up.
We drive
shut it.
Moorhead,
Shut it.
And there's
Shut
no
it.
snow.
I'm
There's
so
no
mad
snow.
at you. Shut up.
There's no snow in the forecast. I think it's going to be a great drive up and drive back.
Why would you do that?
I'm just saying it.
You're
I
tempting
trust.
fate.
I trust the phone. I don't
trust the phone, but I do trust YHH to put on one hell of a show up in Moorhead. We're looking forward to it. I hope everybody else is too.
We'll see you in Moorhead.
You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. You need to stay up out the streets if you can't take the heat. Cause it get cold like Minnesota.